Welcome to the Down Low. I am Joel Lowe, and with me always is my great friend Mike. And today we're going to talk about episode 41, Phishing, SMSishing, Vishing. Oh my, right? I mean,
Oh
say
my.
that three times. Tis is the season as tax comes around. If you're listening to this outside of the United States, around this time we have to do taxes, right? Uncle Sam wants his money, right? So everybody knows that. Also, this is the season where bonuses come out around the first 3 months, the first quarter. So there's a lot of phishing, smishing, and vishing that will come in, right? So if you heard us talk around Christmas, we talked about the fact of like people will send out stuff about fake packages, right? So hey, a lot of people get stuff shipped to them through Amazon, UPS, and whatnot. So they'll send you emails saying, hey, we have problems with your shipment and whatnot. This is the same kind of thing. Just now it's circled around these certain topics of taxes and bonuses and things of that nature. So we're gonna dive into what they are, what they look like, give you examples, and have a little fun. So buckle up, hold on
Yeah.
tight. You know what I'm saying? Mike, so
Yeah.
let's start off with phishing. What is phishing?
Yeah. So phishing is really just emails, right? It's you getting an email unsolicited or from someone that you don't know, or somebody masquerading as somebody you know, and they want you to do several things
Yep.
or something, and usually that's driven by some kind of timeline, a short timeline, some kind of threatening post. Sometimes that can be beneficial, right? Like, hey, you've won something, but you need to
Mhm.
do this in the next 24 hours or 12 hours or something, some kind of speed or
Mhm.
this. And usually there's a link or something to download, click on, or a phone number to call.
Yep. And then there's smishing, right? Which is
Right.
such a, you want to say that all the time. I just
Yeah.
like smishing,
Smishing.
smishing,
Smishing.
right?
Yeah. So smishing is what, Joel?
So smishing is messages, right? It's your text messages, right?
Yep.
So it is them sending you something. So now you'll see where banks will sometimes verify and send you a text message with a code or whatnot. This is them literally sending you something, spoofing that to say, hey, click on this link here because we need to get to your account to verify something. So you think
Yeah.
it's coming from a trusted, reputable company that you work with, and it actually isn't. It's been spoofed. You click on it, you now give them access to it. They may then go another step to then call you and say, hey, we just got your click, want to make sure that it's you. Hey, can you go over a few information with me? Well, you think it's them
Yeah.
because you're working with them, and you give up some information. And what you don't realize, while they're on the phone with you, they're literally emptying your account, right?
Right.
Um, right,
Keeping you
right,
busy.
keeping you busy, and then they'll say everything is good, we appreciate it, and you hang up, and all your money is gone, right?
Yeah.
So that is smishing, and then there is vishing, the with the V. What is vishing?
Yeah, so Vishing, this is really just social engineering. It's an
Mhm,
old con. It's
mhm.
just got a new name to it, right? So
Yep.
people call you up and they say, "Hey, I'm so and so. I need this." Um, we used to do these tests for a living where we'd call clients. They'd authorize us to call their employees, and we'd see if we can get username and password out of
Hmm.
them or things like this. And I'd call and say, "Hey, I'm with IT. So and so. We noticed we detected a problem on your computer on the network here. Are you noticing any slowness?" Now, 9 times out of 10, everybody would be like, "Yeah, my computer's always slow."
Right.
It's not. It's
No.
yeah, not to the effect you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So that's exactly what I'm talking about. I noticed there's some slowness going on, and it's really coming from your computer here.
Hmm.
Just need to check a few things. What is your computer name? Oh, it's this and that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. All right, that's not what I'm. Okay. Maybe I got something wrong. What's your
Right.
username? Oh, it's this and that. Okay, okay. Well, I do see it coming from your username, but I don't see it coming from that computer. Let me test something. What's your password?
And they got you.
Boom.
You're gonna
And
you're
and
gonna
and I
blurt it out.
yeah,
You,
most of the time that works, I get it, I collect it, and
right.
you know, I would get out of 100 employees, I'd probably get 5, 10 people,
Right.
right? Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I only need one,
Only need
right?
one.
Like
Hey, Mike,
the
are you
reality is,
are
I
you
only
one
need
of
one.
the are you one of the sick people like me when I get the phishing calls? I play with them like I Oh no, where's the computer name? How do you get to it?
Right.
Show me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, and what did I do? Oh, that is
Oh,
terrible. And then
yeah.
I ask them questions back. Oh, so what is your computer name? Oh no,
Right.
no, that's not what we're doing right now. I mean, well, you're asking me mine. I want to know yours as well. Like,
Right.
right? I mean, we're sharing, right?
I used to have a friend who'd be like, so what are you wearing? And it's a guy to a guy, be like, so what do you like doing? You like going on beaches? You like dancing? You like just make it so uncomfortable for the other. They just hang up. They're like, I'm really uncomfortable. Like, oh man, come on, give me your email address.
Come on. I
We can stay in
mean,
touch with each other.
we're
Give me
sharing
an email address.
information, right? I
Right.
mean, hey, why
I want to know a
not?
little bit more about
Just
you.
let them know about you, right?
Oh,
Hey,
you're new in IT? Oh, I used
we're
to work at IT. What's
yeah.
who are you? That's awesome, man. Let's
Where you
why
located
don't we
at?
hang out for lunch?
Yeah,
Right.
San Diego. I'm in San Diego too. No,
Right.
no, you're not in San Diego,
No,
right?
yeah. Yeah, no.
Hey,
I can be in San
I
Diego.
could
Where
be.
where you where you
Could be. Hey, I always love giving them a hard time. It makes me feel better. It does,
Yeah.
right?
It
And
makes
it,
you
it,
feel better.
it does. And then eventually they're gonna hang up, right? And then
Yeah.
they take me off their list, right? So
Do
uh,
they?
uh, I hope so. I mean, somebody else may call back. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have fun the
Right.
whole time,
Hey
right?
Joel, it's that guy from IT again. I just wanted to see if you wanted to have that coffee.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh,
uh,
sure.
sure.
So social engineering, right? All these are ticks and trips to try to get social engineering, right? To target you, to get into
Yeah.
your network, to gain a foothold. Literally, that's what they're using. And the thing that's crazy about phishing, smishing, vishing is that they all work, right? It's the
They
number
do.
one vector, right? It
Yeah.
literally phishing is still number one, right?
Yeah.
Sending you an email, asking you to do something, and you do it, right?
It's low cost. It's
It
very low cost. I can send millions of emails a day
and all I
for
need
almost
one.
nothing.
All I need
And
one.
all I
Click
need is
on it.
one.
So my thing is it works so well, and you'll see a lot of companies, and even private companies as well,
Mhm.
doing education for their users and for their customers, right? Because
Yeah.
we're spending tons of money losing data,
Yeah.
money, things of
Yeah.
that nature. So the cleanup costs so much, right? Versus really just teaching you like, hey, don't do this. Think before you
Right.
do this. So
Right.
one of the things that Mike stated was like there is urgency, right? Anything that's an urgency, you should stop and pause for a second, right?
That's a really good point. Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
just stop and
Yeah.
pause.
It's what's you mentioned something earlier. It's 24 hours, the IRS in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And you
So,
had
so the IRS is never gonna call you and be like, "Hey, you haven't paid this. We're gonna freeze your account if you don't give us, this certain amount of
right.
money, right? And we can make
Right.
a deal with you right now." It's never gonna happen. The IRS
Right.
is like they're ruthless, right? But they're not that
Yeah.
ruthless. They, in the
Right.
words of Mike, they go long game, not short game, right? They're gonna catch you right when you least expect it, but they're gonna give you
Right.
plenty of notification, right? They're gonna send you email. I mean, they're gonna send you letters, certified
Certified
letters,
letters.
right? So
Yeah.
you get a regular letter like, "Hey, you need to hit us up," right? Then you get
Right.
a certified letter, and that just means you have to sign, which then lets them know that hey, you received it.
You
Then
would receive this.
yeah, then they're gonna see you probably another one saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna garnish your wages, right? If we don't hear
Right.
anything, if you don't, set up some kind of payment plan."
Yeah.
Then
They're
they
not
got,
going to shake you down.
yeah, they're not, and these are all weeks in between, and then they send something
Yeah.
to your company, right? And then
Right.
your company is gonna notify you because they have to. Hey, just want to let you know that we're gonna have to start pulling this amount of money out of your account, right? Out of your paycheck, right? Unless you address this with the IRS, right?
Right.
And then they start taking money out your account. None of that is
Right.
in 24 hours, right?
Right.
So
No.
when you hear
It's the
somebody
government.
call
They
you,
don't do anything fast.
nothing at all. They can't even elect a speaker fast, right? So they're not about to take money out of your account fast. Those are
Right.
facts, right?
Right.
So my thing
Right.
is when they tell you like, hey, if you don't do this, this is gonna happen, right? You should immediately red flags everywhere and say, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna wait. If you have to garnish my accounts, I understand. I never received anything, but I appreciate you letting me know. And you hang up,
Right.
and then you call the real IRS, which I've done before, and told them like, hey man, I just got this email from you or got this phone call. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we've getting a lot of those. I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not us. Right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten phone calls for things that I'm like, I don't even qualify for yet. Like, hey, want to let you know that they're going to garnish your social security if you don't. I, I'm not getting social security yet. Do
Got
I
a
look
few
that old?
years.
Right? I'm like,
Right.
wow. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, tell them they can garnish it. It's okay. I'm fine. I
Yeah.
don't need it.
I got news for you. By the time you garnish my social security, it won't be a social security.
Right. Right.
so
Right.
so if you find money, let me know because I'd love to
Please.
know that you
I'm
found
like,
it.
I never got the first check for my social security. I'm kind of upset about that. Right. I'm glad
Yeah.
you. And again, that's where I go to messing with them. But again,
Right.
it's always gonna be something quick, right? Dire.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. Yeah.
need you. You must. Why didn't you? We got
Yeah.
to. If this doesn't happen right now, I'm trying to help you. And then one of the things we're seeing, we were talking about, Mike, was elder fraud.
Right.
Go through what that is and what that looks like, and
Yeah.
it's huge right now.
And this is near and dear to my heart because I've seen a lot of people take advantage of and I've done security awareness talks at rest homes and retirement communities and things because it's just so like it frustrates me to no end.
Yep.
So a lot of these people who are older, right?
Mhm.
Maybe they don't have younger generation that they could turn to and things like that. They get phone calls and they get harassing phone calls about you didn't pay your bill, you didn't do this.
Mhm.
Maybe your memory's not as good or you're just busy and you didn't think of something. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I had a bill. Oh, okay. How much is it for? Um, and it gets worse than that. So that's like simple stuff that they'll
Mhm.
do that kind of thing to every one of us, right? If you're old enough to have a bank account, they'll get you for that. What I don't like about elder fraud is they'll call you and say, hey, your son or grandson has been
Mhm.
arrested. You
Yep.
had an example of that.
It's happened to me.
Or yeah, hey, I've seen them where they've sent emails and they say, hey, I've lost my phone and my wallet. I only have access to email. Please wire me money.
Right.
So that I'm traveling in Europe and I've lost all the stuff. I need money to get home. And they'll do it at off hours or early in the morning
Mhm.
when they know people will check and just act on
Yep.
things immediately because it's they want to do this. It it's so frustrating. And I've certainly had older friends come to me and they're like, hey, I got this phone call. You're like, "Well, all right, what did you tell them?
Right.
What did they ask you for? What did you
Right.
tell them?" And and this is a problem I have today with dealing with banks and healthcare institutions is they call you and what's the first thing they do? Well, I need to verify you are who you say you are. So I need your date of birth and your social security number. Like, time out for a second. You called me out of nowhere. I have no dealings with you,
Right.
and you're asking me for sensitive information. Does that
Yep.
not red flag you? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'd be like, tell you what, I'm going to go call your company. What's your company name? I'll follow up with you on that way. And they're like, well, you don't need to do that. Like, oh, no, we're going to do this. Now I'm definitely going to do this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, the
And you
moment
know what?
they
I've, and
start
I've had
backpedaling.
I've had legit calls like that where they've
Yeah.
called me and they're like, "Hey, we just need to verify you for your protection." I'm like, "Well, I don't feel real protected because you called me,
Right.
so you clearly have my
Right.
information."
Right.
And what they've said is, "I completely understand. Hey, give us a call and we can then talk." Right? And they hung up. And they asked me if I had their number, and I was like, "Well, that don't make sense either, right?" So you
Right.
call
Right.
me, you're going to give me a number, and then I'm going to call you back. Is that really verifying that you are who you are?
And,
Good point.
and we've
Good
both
point.
had friends like that. We've
Mhm.
we've we've both had friends like that. Like
Mhm.
where they gave me a number. You're like, of course they did. They gave you they gave you their
Their number,
telephone number
right.
to call them back
They gave me
directly.
their number.
I was like, what they should have done was call the main number. Here's my extension.
Right,
Right. And so
right,
you call the main number of the company, not the number they give you. You call the main number
right.
of the company, and then you dial that
The
extension to
extension.
get to that person. Or you
It's
call
like
the operator and say, I need this person, which is the other way to do it. Don't dial an extension, call the
right.
company, ask for the person.
I mean, because how many times have we seen those talk shows or movies where, hey, somebody's like, hey, can I speak to your supervisor? Like, hold on, and they just hand it to the cube next door, right? And he comes on
Right.
and like, hey, I'm
Right.
supervisor such and such. And no, he's not, right? They're
No.
scamming
Yeah.
you. They're not
Right.
who they say they are, right?
Right.
And it's sad that they take advantage of older people like that, and they
Yeah.
really rake them through the coals, right? Because they don't
Yeah.
know, and when they finally come in the bank, they're like, "Hey, all my money's gone." Right? What
Yeah.
happened?
And yeah.
And and then the sad thing is, because they gave up their access to their money unwillingly
Right.
on an accident, right? Or being tricked,
Right.
it no longer is the responsibility of the bank to pay them back, and it's very
Right.
very slim that they do that now. And that's getting to
Yeah.
protect them, because it shows how much this is happening, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of people losing money from these kind of scams, right? So
Yeah.
please protect your elders, right? Your older
Yeah.
people, your parents. Talk to them
Yeah.
about what's going on, what they're doing. Make sure they got good strong passwords. Make sure
Right.
they understand how to get into their accounts, and tell them, hey, you don't give out any of this information
Right.
until you give me a call, right? I'll
Right.
take that call, right?
Right.
So because it is happening more frequently. I mean, our baby boomers are getting older. It's a lot of them. And yeah, they're not savvy when it comes to technology, as
Well,
old others
and
are.
you get older, and
Yep.
you just get older, and
Yep.
my parents haven't been in the business office business in 10, 15 years.
Right.
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 So, they don't know how to, oh, that sounds like a problem, and people get older, they start losing their memory, they start
Yep.
losing, track of certain things. And just yeah, to Joel's point, please take care of the people that are older than you,
Yeah.
your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your father, your mother, your grandparents if they're still
Yeah.
alive, great grandparents.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on them. Just let them know that this is, it used to be they come knocking on your door and you're like, I can see this guy coming from a mile
Right.
away.
Right.
Right? Like, this guy looks shisty. Who wears a
Right.
jacket like that? Um, and monorail. It's like, no, like, that guy's shisty.
Yeah.
And
I
I shouldn't
trust
be
you not.
sexist. That guy or that woman is
Yeah.
shisty. Let's not be sexist.
Hey, them look shisty. That's what it is.
Shisty. They
Them,
they look shisty.
they
Correct.
look shisty. Yes, I like it.
Right.
Hey,
But on a phone, it's so much easier. It's so
it
much. And,
is. It is.
I certainly like it. And now that they're starting to get into social media and things like that, your grandparents and parents and, friends and that are older and everything else, I've certainly seen it. You're like, they have a friend that they click on a link for, and you get that friend request comes to you, and they're like, hey, I'm friends with this person. And you're like, that's an AI photo,
Right.
right? Or
Right.
that person that's not really trying to be friend. I have no idea who this
Or
person
the
is.
other thing you see too is the catfishing with older
Yeah,
people and lonely
yeah,
people. So it's
yeah,
these beautiful people, and they need help, and
yeah,
they have this relationship, and then you find out that, like, they're giving thousands of dollars to this person they think it is, and it's not. And
yeah,
it's only when, like, a teller right at the bank is like, hey, I noticed you're transferring a lot of money out. Like, well, hey, what's going on here? We're sending it over here. Oh yeah, that's
right,
my girlfriend or my fiance. And they're like, right. And we do training on this in the bank of, like, hey, when you see something like this, it's kind of red flags, right? To ask
yeah,
questions. Or
yeah,
I've even, and I've told you about this, and told the community about this, where I was at a Target and saw an older person buying a bunch of gift cards, right? And I was like,
right,
ooh. It
yeah,
just really had me like, ugh, like, hey, let me ask a couple of questions. Like, hey, I know you're getting gift cards, and it's a ton, right? Hey, are you by chance sending this to somebody for some odd reason? And it's usually a relationship they think of, and you're like, ooh, like, I don't want to say love can't happen that way, right?
right,
I just never knew that. I just wouldn't send it through a gift card that you can never retrieve anything back.
track,
Like,
right,
it's done. So again, those are the things to have conversation with. And it's sad, right? People play off
yeah,
of people's insecurities, their loneliness, their
yeah,
naivety, and they take advantage of it to their, to win, right? There's a lot of
yeah,
people out here hurting, and they will try to get over on you any way they can. So please be
yeah,
smart. Just
yeah,
think before you react, right? Which is one of our takeaways, right?
yeah, absolutely,
Stop and think before you do something. So anything that's like, hey, you need to do this now. We got to get this done. Pause, right?
right,
Find a number that of the company that they're pretending to be, and call them
right,
back from a number that you
right,
trust, and
No,
verify, hey, did you send
don't
me
take their
this?
number.
Don't take it.
Yeah,
Don't take their number.
don't take their number.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no. And you ask, hey, I just got this phone call from y'all. You say I owe this money. Is that true? They'll probably be like, no, no, we didn't call you, right? Who said that?
right,
Yes.
right,
Now you let them know, hey, be on the lookout. Somebody is pretending to be you, right? And we've got
right.
those many a times at the bank where people have called and told us certain things, and I'm like, ooh, okay. Could you send us the screenshot of the smishing that you got, right? Hey, do you
Yeah,
have the voicemail that you got? And I got a lot of employees that will send that to us, and we look over it, and we try to figure out what's going on. We got a lot of smarter people than me that will then do some stuff to try to reduce that, right? Which is
nice.
beautiful, right?
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's awesome.
so what's number two?
So, obviously, if don't click on anything, right?
Mm-mm,
If you're not expecting a link or so on and so forth, don't click on it.
mm-mm,
Because it's the season for that. If you get a text message from the IRS, you know, if you're expecting a text message from the IRS, like you just submitted your taxes
mm-hmm,
via TurboTax or H&R Blockers, one of those things, and they'll send a confirmation text that says you got it. You don't have to click on that link, right? They just
mm-mm.
send you a confirmation, everything else. Go to your email and double check that it's the same link and everything else.
Yep.
Um, this is also the time where somebody calls you out of the blue and says, "Hey, I need to verify who you are." Just take a moment and pause and like, who are you? Where are you calling from?
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't do business with that organization.
Right.
Or I'm not comfortable giving you my information.
Mm-mm.
Let me have your extension number and I'll call your company's main line. Right.
Yep.
And then go on the internet, look up that company's main telephone number. Don't take their telephone number. But again, going back to what Joel said, they're going to be pushy. They're
Yep.
really going to be pushy.
Yep.
They don't want to let you get off that telephone unless you grab in your checkbook.
Nope.
Um,
Because
so
every little bit helps, right? You don't understand. A lot of
yeah,
a little bit goes a long way, right? And then last
yeah,
but never least, right? We talked about if you get a suspicious email, right? Don't click on it, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's just very simple. Don't click on it.
yeah,
Go back to if it looks too good to be true, it is, right?
yeah,
If it's asking you to do something that's gonna do some kind of emotional, knee jerk, I got to do something right now, stop.
right,
Stop and think
right,
about it. The IRS is not going to, shut you down or lock your bank accounts, right?
right.
Without going through a lot of effort to let you know, right? And
Yeah,
that's just so
yeah,
they don't get sued, right? I mean, they literally want to make sure that hey, not only do we send them this, we send them certified. Here's where he signed for it. We send him certified, let him know. We send it to his company. His company let him know. Hey, and then we took his money, right? They're
right,
they're gonna
right.
long game, not short game, right?
Oh,
They're not
yeah,
coming for 24 hours. They're gonna get
yeah,
you harder than because you got to remember too. And this is just to let you know why they do long game. Immediately when they send you that first, they start interest, right? So interest starts, right? So they don't care
okay.
how long it takes, right? The interest is
Yep,
there, right? So
yeah,
let's say by the time your company hits you with it and you finally get it and you then respond back to them, they say, oh, yeah, you can pay it off. Not a problem at all. Oh, and there's also the 90-day interest that accrued as well
right.
that you're responsible for. And you're like, but no, oh, yeah. They're long game, right? If they did
Yeah,
24
they're
hours and you
much
paid
longer.
it off, that there's no interest, right? They need
Yeah,
their interest, right?
yeah.
They're way smarter than you think they are, right? They're
Oh yeah,
ruthless.
yeah. They have time. They have
Oh,
patience. They're funded by your tax money. They
hey,
can be patient.
they got time for it, right? I'm
They have
here.
plenty of time for it.
I'm here for a good time. They're here. Hey,
Right.
so just remember that they're not gonna call you up and be like, "Hey, we're about to do something." And with
We're
those
shutting you
things
down.
there, and just always remember that Nigerian prince will be
Yeah.
okay, right? I know he has millions of dollars that he
Well, he
needs your
will be
help
because I
with,
sent him all that money
right?
last year. But
He,
yeah.
he'll be okay, right? You don't need to send him anything, and I still can't believe that works, right? It is probably what 20 years
Yeah.
that one there,
Oh,
right?
at least. Yeah, they
20
used to do
years,
it by letter, by
right?
mail, by
Right.
actual snail mail. So
I
yeah.
still can't believe that one works, right? So please stop. If it's too good to be
Yeah.
true, it is, right?
Yeah. You know
Any
what's funny
parting
is they
thoughts?
they
Oh no, go
found
ahead.
one they
Go ahead.
found one of those guys that was the Nigerian prince. They found him in Florida.
Did they?
Uh, yeah,
His
they did.
king,
I
his
remember
kingdom was
watching.
in
I was like,
Florida.
son of a. His kingdom was in Nigeria. Apparently, is right outside of Orlando. I think it's next to Kissimmee.
That makes
Um,
sense.
it does. It does. It's
That
about as
makes
hot as
sense.
Nigeria
It,
sometimes.
it is at
Um,
times. Hey, any
so
parting thoughts?
yeah, just obviously this is important. This impacts and affects everybody. Not everybody's gonna watch this video. We know because we don't have that many subscribers. But if you do
We're working
talk
on it.
to
We're working on it.
somebody, if you just get the word out and protect
Yeah.
your loved ones and friends and stuff like that. Just let them know. If you hear them talking about something, I get LinkedIn invites from people who have nefarious backgrounds all the time. You're like, yeah, nice try, not today.
Yeah.
Ignore,
Yeah.
report.
Yeah.
But yeah, just look after those that may not be as hip to things as you may be.
Yep. And I always say knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Yep.
And once you
Still
know
going to get us
apply,
sued for that.
still gonna get a suit. We're working on it, right?
We're
2023 is
working
the
on it.
year. Hey, we all have goals and dreams, right?
We all
So
have
hey.
goals and dreams. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, with that being,
So
go ahead.
yeah, if you like the content, hit the like
Mhm.
button. If you
Yes.
want, we talk about good topics like this all the time. Hit the subscribe button.
Mhm.
We got to do that in the beginning so
We
people know
do,
to
and
do that in the beginning.
we need to get the little dings and bings and the
Oh,
scribe.
the
Gotta get
little
the
things,
little,
the pop
yeah.
ups.
We're gonna work
Yeah,
on that,
yeah.
y'all. Hey, we're gonna do
We got to
better.
work on that.
We
We
are.
also have a podcast. So for those of you who listen to us on Apple Podcasts, thank
We
you so
appreciate you.
much.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
appreciate you and good looking out.
Yeah. So hey, until the next time, y'all take care. Be blessed. Hey, know that you are loved. Know that we appreciate you. And we're here for you. You take care.
Take care, everyone.